Have you spent literally 2 minutes online and had five different posts telling you how summer is coming and you need to get in shape and get ready for the beach? You need to lose weight fast for your bikini beach body. Yeah, me too. And honestly, I'm sick of it. We're heavily into spring now, and if you're scrolling social media looking at health and weight loss content, the pattern is impossible to miss. Everyone is gearing up for summer. The beach body challenges, the 6 week transformations, the get bikini ready programs, the lose 20 pounds before summer campaigns, programs that fundamentally focus on a quick timeline and an end result of looking a certain way in a swimsuit. And here's the thing, I've got so many problems with these programs. Not only because they chase perfection, which doesn't exist, not only because they prioritize short term results, regardless of whether they may sometimes lead to longer term health issues, not only because they make women feel like health is just about how you look, but also because even when they work, the results are short lived. Why? Because the changes that these programs demand of you, those changes, they may be strict, they may be extreme, they may even feel like they're producing results, but those changes were never actually real. I've experienced this firsthand. Now, before we get into it, I want to personally welcome you to my podcast. I'm Vera Brown, weight loss, health, and fitness coach for women 40 and above who want to lose weight and transform their health naturally and sustainably. After struggling with my weight and health for decades in the corporate world and as an entrepreneur, I lost more than 100 pounds in my mid 40s and I've kept it off. No pills, no injections, no procedures, no extremes, no tracking. In my podcast, I share what worked for me, including actionable strategies. I discuss fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress, and mindset to help you achieve your weight loss and health transformation goals. Join me. Now, let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about all those Beachbody weight loss programs you might be seeing online right now, promising quick results and the perfect beach body in just 2 weeks, and why they can be so problematic. So let's get into it. First, let's start with the definitions. What makes a beach body? Well, for me, a so called beach body is literally a body on a beach. Now, I'm not trying to be clever here or funny, but this is a key point I want to make. First and foremost, these programs perpetuate the idea that you have to look a certain way to somehow have the right or to deserve to wear a swimsuit to go to the beach. And they almost imply that if you don't fit a narrow idea of what size or shape you should be, somehow you don't belong on a beach and you shouldn't wear a swimsuit. So please hear me when I tell you this. What makes a beach body? Well, you take a body and you put it on a beach in whatever swimsuit you want. End of story. The thing is, you don't need to earn your right to go to the beach. You can go to the beach right now, today, in whatever body you're in. You don't need permission. You don't need to hit a certain number on the scale. You don't need to look a certain way. You just need a body, which you have, and a beach, which exists. That's it. But I get it. These beach body programs are seductive, aren't they? They promise quick results. They create this Baywatch style vision of what a beach body should be: tanned, toned, and possibly lean, effortlessly sexy. And they put the focus of health entirely on looks, not how your body feels, not how it sustains you for your life, not on how it supports your mental and emotional health. No, they literally narrow all of health into one single thing: how you look in a swimsuit. And that is ridiculous. And frankly, it's dangerous because health is so much more than aesthetics. Health is energy, strength, mobility, mental clarity, emotional resilience, the ability to do the things you want to do and live the life you want to live. But Beachbody programs reduce all of that to one thing. Can you look hot in a bikini for 3 months? And that's not health. That's vanity dressed up as wellness. How do I know? Because I've been there. I've been seduced by those beach body promises too. I'm human after all. I'm not just saying this from some high horse of enlightenment. I know because I've fallen for it. I've done the extreme program. Quite a few years ago now, back in my 30s, I went through quite an extreme exercise and nutrition program. And as a result, I lost 75 pounds in about 6 months, which is quite a lot. And I didn't do the injections. This was way before any of that was available, but it was quite an intense and full on program. I worked out for hours a day. The food was very, very strict. I tracked every single calorie on a tracking app. My whole life was all about that program. And at the time, I'd left my job, had a bunch of savings. So, literally, my whole focus for those 6 months was to lose weight and nothing else. And I did. I lost 75 pounds. Okay, great. I got to the goal. And then that was that. I got to the goal, but then slowly but surely, I went back to old ways because nothing had really changed. Because here's the thing, the quicker the progress, the less long lasting it is. That's what I've had to learn the hard way. See, here's what those programs don't tell you real change takes time. Not 6 weeks, not 3 months, not even 6 months sometimes. Real change can take years. And real change needs to be part of your real life, your full human life. That is the trick. That is the real work. Because doing something short term, when that's your sole focus for a short time, that's actually easier. You can control everything, you can make it your entire life, you can white knuckle through it because you know it's temporary. But in contrast, doing something for a prolonged period of time, when there's real life, when there are competing priorities, when life stresses constantly pop their heads up, when there are birthdays and holidays and work deadlines and family obligations and bad days and grief and joy and everything else that makes up an actual human life, that is the real work. Because those changes need to become part of your life and your identity. They need to reduce decision fatigue. They need to reduce the need for constant motivation. They need to feel natural, not forced. And that doesn't happen in 2 weeks. It doesn't happen in 1 month. It takes time. Because for change to be real, it must be sustainable. When I think back about my own experience of losing those 75 pounds in 6 months, just to gain it all back, the thing is, nothing fundamental had changed during that extreme program. Nothing sustainable, nothing real. Okay, yes, I lost the weight. Yes, I looked different. Yes, I felt proud for a minute, but I didn't become different. I didn't change my identity. I didn't build sustainable habits that fit into my actual life. I just forced myself through a temporary program that I couldn't maintain once real life resumed. And that's the lesson I had to learn the hard way, that for change to be real, it must be sustainable. And for it to be sustainable, it needs to have less friction and resistance within you. It needs to fit your life, your preferences, your values, your reality. And that takes work, not just physical work. I'm not just talking about fitness and nutrition and workouts, but emotional and mental work. The work of identifying what actually works for you, the work of letting go of habits that no longer serve you, the work of building new patterns that feel authentic. the work of changing how you see yourself and the world. And that takes time, not beach body program time, but real time, your time. And when I think back about putting all that weight back on after those hardcore 6 months, I really remember feeling at the time that I just thought, what was the point? I mean, seriously, what was the point in all this if this isn't the life I actually want to live? I don't want to live a life where I feel like I can't hang out with my friends, I can't be social, I can't do certain things, I can't actually enjoy life. And that program, it felt so incredibly time consuming, just all energy consuming, so exhausting. And for what? To gain all the weight back. And this is the thing, it's taken me years to look back at that experience with a bit more clarity and insight and self compassion. And now I realize that it was the short term approach that was the problem, not me. And if you've ever done a short term program where you sucked it up for a few weeks or even months and made progress, but felt that all the joy of life was sucked out, then you may resonate with what I'm saying today. And it may even have made you feel like you cannot lose weight and transform your health. But please, I am here to tell you that this is most certainly not the case. You can lose weight and transform your health on your own terms because you cannot use previous short term results that were created by short term programs as a lesson for the future. Because once you actually change your approach and outlook on health and life and stop chasing the short term fixes and quick results, and instead you start focusing on the long term sustainable health, then everything becomes easier. I promise. That's certainly been my own experience. So that's the thing. When I say slow progress is real progress, I know it. I've lived it. I have my own personal lived experience of losing 75 pounds in 6 months with a restrictive program and calorie tracking app and all that. And the problem with those short term diets and short term programs is, ironically, not necessarily that they don't work. The irony is that often they do work, but they miss the point. They produce short term results that are unsustainable and therefore not real, not truly transformational, not helpful, because they don't actually help you make all the other changes you need to guarantee success long term. And I think that's the key difference. So, what did I change? And how did I go from losing and regaining 75 pounds following a short term extreme program to nearly a decade later losing more than 100 pounds in my mid 40s and keeping it off? Well, in midlife, there comes a point, certainly for me, whether you're in your 40s like I am, 50s, whatever, where you just have limited energy and limited capacity to deal with BS, including your own BS. And you recognize how much time and effort a true health transformation takes. And you want to be absolutely sure that if you're going to do it, the results last. You're done with the going back and forth and you're done with losing the weight and gaining it and losing it and gaining it. At some point, you look at the years ahead and you think to yourself, what type of life do I want to live? How many more years do I have to get this right? So I just want to get it right once and for all. I don't really have the time, the energy, the capacity to keep going up and down and up and down. I need to stop chasing the short term programs with the temporary results. I need something real, if even if it takes longer, but something that gives me long-lasting results and a life I actually want to live and enjoy. At least that's the way it was for me. Because when I lost over 100 pounds in my mid 40s, naturally and sustainably, that was my overriding principle above all. And I was constantly telling myself, it's okay. It's okay if it takes longer. It's okay if it's not 75 pounds in 6 months. As long as it's real, as long as I don't gain it back, as long as I just make the changes I want to make, that I need to make to have a happier, healthier life, it's okay. And I think that's the key thing that a lot of these summer beach body programs miss. Yes, it's sexy. Yes, it's exciting to tell somebody, hey, lose 20 pounds by summer, lose 30 pounds in 3 months, get your beach body, look great in your swimsuit. And certainly on social media, it's compelling and seductive to make those big promises. But those results are temporary, and that's the real problem. That's the thing you see online so much. Everything is a short term fix. And I know a lot of us want instant progress. I get it. I've been there. But please hear me when I say the quicker it is, the less real it is. And that's certainly been my own lived experience. So when I was done chasing the short term fixes with the temporary results, and I wanted to embrace real change that would last a lifetime, that's when things truly and finally unlocked for me. And I did embrace the idea that real progress takes time, and that's okay. And it took the time it takes. And I looked at that time as proof that the progress I was making was real and sustainable. And now that I've lost those 100 pounds in my mid 40s, and it ultimately took nearly 3 years, I can tell you that it wasn't a straight line. It wasn't consistent progress every single day, every single week. There was life. There was family functions, special occasions, holiday travel, stressful periods, work things, sad things happened along the way. And it wasn't linear progress every day, but it was progress. And now, not only have I lost that weight, but kept it off. And I feel genuinely like a different person. And things just feel easier, more natural. And yes, great. I love the way I look in a swimsuit on the beach, but that's not the point. I love the way I feel and the confidence I have that my health and my body will support me for my future. So that really is the choice that sustainable, natural weight loss demands of us. Are you ready to become a different person? And I think that's really the question for many of us. Are you willing to make the changes that turn you into a different person? But I think, because I think more often than that, that's what's necessary. At the end of the day, to lose weight naturally and keep it off, it takes effort. And importantly, for it to be truly sustainable, that effort needs to feel easier. It needs to feel more natural. It needs to feel like less effort. It needs to feel more like you. And what that means for many of us is that you need to change. You need to embrace different habits, different ways of looking at things. You need to let go of certain other things, not only in terms of what you're doing with food, nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep, all that, but you need to let go of certain habits, certain coping mechanisms, certain ways of thinking, and certain ways of being. And my own lived experience is that once you abandon chasing the short term quick fixes and the Beachbody programs, and once you focus on the long game, then things just fall into place more naturally. And there does come a point when you wake up one day and you realize you've become a different version of yourself. And I think that's inescapable. That's the tricky bit with weight loss, that by the time you've made all the changes you need to make in order to make weight loss not only achievable, so sustainable, and actually keep the weight off, it does then turn you into a different person. Because who are we as people? What is your identity at the end of the day? Identity is, yes, what we feel and what we think, but it's also what we do on a daily basis. When at the end of it all, you've changed how you talk to yourself. And if you're anything like me, you've also changed how you see the world. You change how you see certain things in your life. You change how you see food, fitness, all that. And not only have you changed how you see it, but you've changed your actions, your habits, what you choose to do, what you choose not to do. And at some point, it all adds up to a deep and fundamental change in who you are, an identity shift. And not everybody is going to do that. And that doesn't feel as seductive as a promise of quick 10 pounds lost before the summer beach season hits. But that's really what it takes to not only lose weight, but keep it off. And that's the thing. Identity shifts are not achievable in 2 weeks or a 1 month program to get the beach body. True identity shifts take time. They take a long time. They continue and evolve. They take years, maybe even decades. It's not an overnight thing. Because for an identity to shift in a real way that sticks, it has to feel natural, it has to feel authentic. It's not putting on a mask and pretending to be somebody else for a few months. It has to be true to you. So to me, that's the key thing. When you look at all these programs saying you've got 3 months till summer, you've got this beach body goal, look good in a swimsuit, it misses the point. It misses the point entirely. And I know a lot of us want a quick fix. I get it. I've been there. But please hear me when I say this with love and empathy as somebody who's been there and done it. Slow progress is real progress. Because let's not forget, real transformation is only real because it takes real time. It requires an identity change to be truly sustainable, not just a behavioral change. It needs to feel natural and authentic, not forced and white knuckled. It needs to create sustainable habits, not just temporary restrictions. And yes, it changes how you see yourself, not just how you look, but how you see the world. And it needs to fit into your actual life, not just a bubble where your weight loss is your only focus. And it does demand emotional and mental work, not just physical work. And that is what actually keeps the weight off. Not a 3 month beach body blitz, not a quick fix before summer, not a restrictive program you can't sustain. Real, slow, authentic change that turns you into the person who naturally lives a healthy life. So, here's my message to you. Wherever you are on your weight loss and health transformation journey, if you're seeing all the beach body programs flooding your feed right now and feeling that pressure to do something fast, this is your reminder to take a breath. You don't need a beach body by summer. You already have a beach body. You have a body, beaches exist, you're allowed to go. What you need is a life you can sustain, a body you feel good in, habits that feel like you, health that actually supports your real life. And that takes time. That's okay. Slow progress is real progress. Remember, the weight I lost in 6 months, I gained it all back. The weight I lost over nearly 3 years, I've kept it off. And that is the difference. And you can do this too. Whatever weight you want to lose, however you want to transform your health, whatever method or approach you've tried in the past, please hear me when I say you can do this. You can transform your health on your own terms, but you just need to give it effort and time. Now, if you want more real, honest guidance on losing weight and transforming your health sustainably in midlife, you're in the right place. Subscribe here and get my strategies, mindset shifts, and the tools that actually work for women 40 and above. No BS, no quick fixes, just real transformation. And make sure to get my free guided meditation to completely transform your motivation, making your weight loss and health transformation journey feel so much easier. Link in the show notes below. And will you do me a favor, please? I'm on a mission to reach as many women as I can and truly help them transform their health on their own terms. Could you take a few seconds and share this episode with somebody in your life who you know has been looking at those quick fix Beachbody programs and could use some help on their health transformation journey? I'd be so grateful. Don't forget, you deserve to feel good in your body and your life. I believe in you and I'm cheering you on. Have an amazing day. For the obligatory legal disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, therapist, medical professional, or similar. All information shared on this podcast is purely for informational purposes and does not constitute medical advice. It is entirely your personal choice and responsibility as to what information you use. Please consult your own medical professional for any medical advice.